Okay, once again, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very exciting Innovation Thursday, the Visual Analytics edition, brought to you by IMDA's Open Innovation Platform team. My name is Billy, a member of the team, and I'm very, very happy to be your MC for today. Hoping we kind of have a very good time today learning all about a couple of very, very interesting challenges on the Open Innovation Platform, or OIP. Now, today is the second webinar for what we call our latest Innovation Call 11, featuring problem owners, right, looking at solutions for a range of very interesting real-world business challenges, right? So today we have, use cases ranging from tracking animal behavior all the way to improving how the drum recycling industry operates, right? And all the way to influencing the technology trends in the logistics sector. Now, before we begin, I'd like to welcome everybody to use the Q&A function of Zoom to type in your questions for our presenters, okay? So we'll try our very best to taking all your questions, but if we can't, right, don't worry. You can actually ask your questions using email. For the benefit of our new solvers today, right, allow me to take a little short diversion, right, to explain a little bit more about OIP. So for our friends who are very, very new to the concept of OIP, all right. So allow me to now share the screen. I'm going to bring you guys to the very exciting OIP website. And I'm trying to look for it myself. Okay, technology, is always in the way, okay. Okay, I'm trying to share my browser. Just give me a second. Okay, Mr. Bay, I might need your help. Maybe can you flash the OIP website? I can't seem to find my screen to share. Oh, wait, trying to find, okay. This kind of technical things always happen during webinars. You guys might be quite familiar with that. Okay, I'm going to get my colleague, Mr. Bay, to show. Okay, Mr. Bay, are you showing the website right now? Is it on? Is it on already? Yeah, okay, that's cool. All right. Okay, thank you, Mr. Bay, my lovely assistant, Mr. Bay. All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Open Innovation Platform. It's a structured innovation process, right, facilitated by IMDA, and we bring together problem owners, right, with real business challenges, right, real-world business challenges, right, to find for solutions from a pool of very innovative tech solvers. Right now, we have over 11,000 tech solvers in our community, and it's still a growing community. All right, so basically, what happens is that during every innovation call, right, we will curate a pool of challenges from different problem owners, and then we make the call and we share the problems, right, on the OIP platform. So even if you're not a member of the OIP platform today, right, you can actually go to www.openinnovation.sg, right, /challenges, and you can actually see the public view of all the challenges that we have for the latest innovation call. Okay, so I hope that everybody gets that right. So basically, when we bring you in on board, right, as a problem owner or as a problem solver, right, we give you a lot of support, right? So you have access to resources from IMDA, including access to experts who can walk you through the process of areas such as design thinking to help you refine your problem, the areas of UI UX to help you, fine-tune the way your application or your software reacts, is useful for people. We even bring experts who can advise you on certain frontier technology aspects such as AR, VR, and so on. So basically, when you come on board OIP, right, you will have support from IMDA. Okay, so as you can see, I'm going to invite everybody basically to visit the OIP portal at www.openinnovation.sg. So repeat after me, guys, is www.openinnovation.sg, where we have all the key information for you. So you are welcome to sign on as either a problem owner or a problem solver to access the full features, right, of the OIP portal. And I have great news. Okay, so coming up very soon, right, in the midst of development, we are going to introduce new features to help accelerate your innovation journey. One new feature is called the digital bench, where selected partners in the community, right, will be allowed to use this digital bench, right? It's like a virtual workspace, a virtual lab for you to test out your digital tools, okay? With a lot of, you can bring your information, you can bring all your prototypes to test within the digital bench. Another new feature is called the discovery engine, where we're gonna help to automate the process of matching your problems, right, with the right technology solver, with the right skill sets, the right expertise to solve your problem. So basically, look out for these new key features, right? They're coming very soon onto the OIP platform. So we welcome people who are new to us, right, to sign up this very moment or right after this webinar, right, that is on www.openinnovation.sg. Okay, right now I'm going to invite my colleague, Mr. Bay, my very lovely colleague, Mr. Bay, to play for you our latest video on Innovation Call 11. So Mr. Bay, please take it away.
Got the tech know-how that leverage data analytics, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics, or other emerging technologies to solve business challenges? We want you. The Open Innovation Platform is back for its 11th call, and we're looking for problem solvers like you to help solve real business challenges that can affect positive change on industries and organizations. To date, we've offered $7.2 million in prize monies, engaged a growing community of over 11,000 solvers, and hosted 218 challenges and 91 projects. Whether it's creating smart connected devices to work seamlessly with the environment or optimizing processes to enhance work productivity, stand to co-innovate with problem owners like SLS Bearings, Singapore Sports Hub, and Japanese company Winger, and watch your ideas come to life. There are 15 challenges and $560,000 in prize monies that are up for grabs in this innovation call. Think you've got what it takes? Join the Open Innovation Platform Call 11 as a problem solver today and explore our challenge briefs. Experience our brand new platform with upcoming new features at www.openinnovation.sg.
Okay, I hope everybody enjoyed the very exciting video about Innovation Call 11. As mentioned, we have 15 very exciting challenges for you to take on, as well as a total pool of $560,000 worth of cash money, right, to the deserving finalists and winners, right? So guys, this is your chance to make a difference and also to win pretty good prizes, right, in Innovation Call 11. Okay, just a friendly reminder that the deadline for OIP Innovation Call 11 is... Okay, the good news is you have just over a month and a week, right? It's actually 29th October 2021. So do memorize the deadline for OIP Innovation Call 11 is 29th October 2021. All right, and back to today's exciting Innovation Thursday. We are very honored to have with us three of our cool problem owners in Innovation Call 11. We have our friends from the Wildlife Reserve Singapore. Round of applause, please. Also joining us for today for the first time, I believe it's our friend, the team from Jerome Barrels and Drums Industries. Welcome. We have two problems to present today. And of course, we also have our friends from the YCH Group, and they have three very exciting business challenges to present here today. So once again, we thank everybody for joining us today, our problem owners, as well as our potential tech solvers for Innovation Call 11. We're very glad that you guys are here to share as well as to learn from each other. And of course, the OIP success, right, wouldn't be the same without you guys on board, right? So thank you very much for joining us. So once again, a gentle reminder for the Q&A. Do use the Q&A box in Zoom, right, to write in your questions, and we will try our very best to tackle as many questions as possible today. All right, but in case we don't, right, just in case we don't, we do have the option of you writing in to us via email using this address, info@openinnovation.sg. I'd like to invite my lovely colleague, Pei Wen, right, to key in the email within the chat box so you guys can actually refer to it as well. So I'm very excited about our very first challenge. Our first challenge, right, is actually a return visitor from last week. And I'm, of course, referring to the elephant in the room, literally, because this challenge is all about using the latest technology, right, to track the behavior of a herd of elephants, I believe. Okay, about 4 elephants, right, in the zoo. Okay, this challenge comes from our friends at the Wildlife Reserve Singapore. It's titled the Animal Behavior Recognition System. And the problem statement is very simple, right? How can we better monitor the animals? In this case, referring to the elephants in this project, thereby equipping zookeepers with real-time behavioral insights, right, to provide the right care for animals at the right time. So it's my great pleasure to invite our friends from Wildlife Reserve Singapore. I believe we have the pleasure of the company of Mr. Ryan Han, Assistant Vice President at WRS. Ryan, are you here with us? I believe he'll be joined by his colleague as well. Claudia, are you here as well? Claudia Tay, Assistant Manager, Animal Welfare at WRS. I believe the two of them will do a tag team to present to you the very interesting challenge. Ryan and Claudia, are you guys ready?
Yes, I am.
Oh, please go ahead.
Okay, hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I will just start first as to give you all some context on why we are doing this. Then my colleague Claudia, who will be from the life science, then she'll be explaining more in depth about what this problem statement will be. So I'll just give you an overview, broad understanding of why we're doing this. So I'm from Strategy and Innovation Transformation Office, and later my colleague Claudia, she is from the life science team. So why we are doing this, or why we have also participated in the previous rounds of IMDA Open Innovation Platform, is because in the next 4 to 5 years, we are going to expand our parks bigger. We are going to include, Bird Park will be opening estimated maybe this year or next year. Subsequently, we will have 2 rainforest parks, 2 indoor attractions, 2 resorts. So all this expansion, we are required to have, the ability and capability to do all this tech, and to at the end to improve the well-being of our animals and improve the productivity of our keepers. So a quick snippet or teaser of what is going to come in the next few years. The rainforest parks, we are going to build 2. There will be resorts, there will be this new bird paradise, and so on and so forth. So under this transformation office, we have this open innovation lab where we are managing or looking at all these innovation pilots and also these innovation challenges. The other part of it is that we help to build innovation communities and partnerships through, engaging different startups, tech companies, and then bring them to the correct projects, and then we can accelerate all these innovation projects as soon as possible, or even like in the next few years. So what we have done last year was we participated in OIP Core 10, and there were 2 challenges that we received overwhelmed and very innovative solutions through this platform. We have the Avery, we have the real-time monitoring systems. But I will not take up your time. I'll let my colleague Claudia from Life Science to go more in depth about what the problem statement is. And if you have any questions, feel free to type on the chat in the chat. Yep. Over to you, Claudia.
All right, thank you very much, Ryan, and thank you, Billy, as well for the introduction. So we're just going to share this. Yeah, all right, so there we go. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So I'm here to talk about the animal behavior recognition system, and in particular, for Asian elephants at the night safari. So as Ryan said just now, WRS is actually dedicated to the management of world-leading zoological institutions. We have 4 parks, and we'll be adding 1 more as well. And we have over 1,000 species and 15,000 individual animals. But we're going to be concentrating on just 1 species, that's actually the Asian elephant. So just a background information, we actually have done a proof of concept, a POC phase 1, where we developed it together with another partner, and we actually were able to identify 1 particular elephant as part of this first phase. So now we actually want to move on to the second phase, which is why we're here. So the first phase solution was actually using cameras, and then it went through the process of being extracted. The frames were labeled, so they were detected, and then from there we're able to identify Neha. So Neha is actually a young elephant, and she is smaller than the other female elephants that she's with. There's 4 of them altogether. Right, so all this was then pushed to the dashboard where we were able to access the information. Now, these are the cameras that we placed in the back of house area. So this is not in the exhibit, but that's back of house. We have 5 cameras in total where the female elephants are. Unfortunately, there were some issues with phase 1, but that's how all POCs go. That's why it's called POC. So for our first, so how we actually identified Neha from the other elephants was using the bounding boxes when drawn. So the length and the height would actually be different for her because she's smaller than the rest. But the other 3 elephants are about the same size. And one day, Neha will grow up to be about the same size as the other elephants as well. So this solution is not possible for the long run. right? So we identified some gaps. So we found like when the elephants move beyond the camera coverage or it's really, really dark, then the algorithm couldn't pick Neha up. If they're sleeping in a tight cluster, they do like to cuddle sometimes, just like a elephant pile, and then you couldn't identify individuals. Or Neha, when they're hidden behind each other, because she likes to snuggle with her mom sometimes, and then you see like the mom and she's behind, so you can't see her very well. Distorted heights of elephants. Sometimes they don't line up flat, especially Neha as a young elephant. She likes to do a lot of very interesting things, including like she likes to sleep on like curbs, so she's tilted, and then the algorithm couldn't detect that she was actually sleeping. So for this, we were only looking at standing and sleeping, which are two behaviors. So we actually want to expand on that. So what's our problem statement? So how can we better monitor the animals? And we want to equip the zookeepers with real-time behavioral insights to provide the right care for the animals at the right time. So how can we do this, right? So what are we looking for? We actually want to have, for this solution, it can either extend on what I talked about phase one, it can extend beyond that, it can integrate, or even develop something different altogether if it's able to do what we're looking for, right? Which is to monitor and predict the elephants' well-being. So these are the 8 things we're looking for. And the reason why they're different sizes is actually, we're trying to tell you what's more important. So of course, the first one is to be able to track the elephants and identify them individually. So for solvers, you can actually propose any form of sensors or data collection methods, as long as it does not stress the animals and does not disrupt their natural behavior, right? So the very important thing is this solution must be able to identify each elephant. So there's 4 females altogether. So you must be able to tell which one is doing that behavior, right? So it's important to note that they must be tracked individually. And do also note that elephants are extremely strong, really big animals. They're very smart. And they also have very dexterous trunk. So if you would like to propose things like certain wearables, maybe like a tag or a collar, the chances of them taking it out is really, really high, because even if you put it somewhere where the elephant cannot reach it with her trunk, the other 3 elephants might take it out. So that's something to note when you're proposing a solution. Also, if you're thinking of doing things like markings on them, they take dirt, they throw it on themselves, they go for mud baths. So all these are quite real considerations when you're trying to think of solutions for this, right? So for this prototype, besides looking at standing and lying, which we looked at in phase 1, additionally, we're also looking for at least 2 other elephant behaviors. So that could be, walking or swinging. And it's also ideal if the solution can track other environmental parameters such as sound, humidity, or temperature. Right, so for the IoT monitoring dashboard, it has to be like this one-stop dashboard where the keepers can track, monitor, when they want the information on the elephants, they can go to the dashboard straight away. So you need to consider having a data management module, and preferably with the data loaded to an Excel sheet. So all this information can be found in a challenge brief. We're also looking at activity classification, so providing real-time analysis and interpretation of captured behavioral data as well, right? So as I said, you can load this with the previous solution, or it can be your own as well, right? Real-time alerts really important. So if anything is abnormal, the parameters are exceeded, the solution should be able to flag it to the relevant parties immediately. And as I said, elephants really tough and really strong, and so the solution, whatever it is, has to be robust and ruggedized as well. It has to be modular and scalable, because we, as Ryan said, we don't just work with one animal, we work with many animals. And additionally, it could also help to look at conservation efforts out of WRS as well, right? And of course, support maintenance, really important. So we're looking at support at least 3 to 6 months post POC, and I think the secure network transmission is a must. Yep. So why should you join? Well, besides being able to see and work with really cool elephants, there's the cash prize, of course, and other incentives as well. But I think the elephant one is a big prize. And of course, this is the evaluation criteria that we're looking at. You can see all that in the brief also. And now it's Q&A.
Okay, thank you, Claudia, for a very succinct presentation on your challenge. Okay, I would like to invite questions from the floor. And right now we have one. Okay, coming in soon. I'm just gonna take a while to ask a question that I have for Claudia and team. Okay, basically, Claudia, you mentioned that you wanted solution that is very regularized and robust, right? So I understand that last week, right, a lot of people proposed using wearables. So can you be share with us what level of robustness are you looking for if we were to use wearables?
Okay, thank you, Billy. So in terms of wearables, we have tried putting on different kind of devices, or even when one of them, she had some leg issue and then we had to put in like a splint as well. She tore that up in like seconds, really. And we put it on and it's out. So they're really strong. And as I said, their trunk, even though they're huge, right, their trunk is very dexterous. So even if it's something small, like they can pick a peanut from a floor. So if your sensor, if you're thinking of something small and put it somewhere on the body, they're quite curious and they'll probably take it out. So a lot of the wearables are quite difficult, honestly, for them, because they will find some way to either break it, take it out, rub it against something. Yeah.
What about the environment? What sort of environment should this solution be prepared to endure? Yeah.
Okay, so for the elephants, well, this picture I think kind of tells you what whatever your solution may be in for. They do go into the water, they go into the mud. They like to take branches and sweep things around. All sorts of things. So that's why it has to be really robust and tough, because it might get wet as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Claudia. We're going to move on to questions from the floor. Let's start with this one from Varun. Varun says, would it be possible for us to see the architecture for the POC to understand the elephant behavior again?
So definitely, if the solution is chosen, we will be showing you all the previous work that was done and whether you can be integrated with it. Yeah.
Okay. So Claudia, I believe this also refers to the second question from Jing Yi, and says, do we have sample photos or video feeds from your existing cameras or from the phase 1 trial so that solvers can use it for training, fine-tuning the detection segmentation models? So what do you say to that?
Yep. So if your solution is chosen, we will be able to share with you all the videos because they actually took images of the video. So we will be able to share it with you for machine learning.
I think Billy, can I just add on to this question?
Yes, please.
Hey, hi,
Welcome.
Jing Yi, I think to add on to from Claudia's answer, during the phase 1 that we have done, the cameras are able to identify the elephants, as in, for example, the fall, and also ability to understand their behaviors, meaning when they are standing, lying, and equates to their well-being. But what we are also looking at to push ourselves even further is that this, whether it's video or other parameters, to help to identify individual elephants. That is the challenging part, because elephants, as what Claudia has mentioned, when Niha, which is smaller one, grows, all of them will look alike, like twins are in layman terms, like human being. So how are we able to identify individual? So, wearables might be one, but because, what Claudia has mentioned, all the other things that, they are curious, they might take care of, and certain. So we are looking at maybe adding on from the video on other parts that, it can identify individual elephants, which is the tricky part. Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan. Okay, let's move on to a more technical question right now. From Anonymous, it says, what are the existing network infrastructure available at the elephants enclosure?
Oh, okay, I'll address that. Sorry. So the current existing network structure for POC itself, so we won't talk about production, but just for POC, we will be tapping onto our free in-park Wi-Fi in that manner. So even our existing cameras that we have done for our first POC, they are actually tapping onto our free Wi-Fi network. Yep, I hope I addressed that question.
Okay, that's a free Wi-Fi. Can give me the password now, Ryan, so I can have. Just kidding. Okay. Next question will be. I think this should be quite an obvious one. Are there any power supply that can be tapped on?
Definitely.
Definitely, yes. Yeah, there'll be power supply. No need to use lightning. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Claudia. Okay, coming up next, we have a question. Let's see. This is are full from Ajit. So are full details of the existing POC available, including the analysis of where the POC is lacking or needs to be beefed up?
So we actually covered the previous POC, so we said we identified the gaps. So I think this deck itself will be shared, right? So you can see what issues we had. But I think we can give a bit more details. Probably not share everything, but definitely let you all know the difficulties that we faced and what we want to improve on further. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Claudia. All right, we have two similar questions from Jingyi and Joel. So I guess the old adage, great minds think alike, does apply today. So basically the question is about how do the zookeepers differentiate between the individual elephants today?
So while working with animals, at first they all seem the same, but after a while you can tell them apart. So for the elephants, the different ways that the keepers normally use, besides behavior, because I understand that it would be much harder to learn, it would be identifying marks that they have. Some are slightly darker, slightly smaller. There are actually quite different points on their body that you can differentiate between elephants. And I think I said before, but I've not done that yet, which is, I think there's this forum where you can ask all more questions. So we'll be able to post up this more information as to identifying marks that you can tell elephants apart.
Okay, I think we should entertain this the next question because it comes from I believe it's an animal lover, Edmund. Hi, Edmund. Thank you for the question again. And it is a very interesting question. What are the elephants' names and ages? Pop quiz for Claudia.
So firstly, I admit I don't work directly with the animals. With the elephants, I work with other animals. Yeah, so there are 4 of them altogether. So Neha is the youngest. And then we have 3 others. So we have Tun, Jamila, and Nandong. Right. As for the ages, I know that Jamila is our oldest. She is 43 years old this year. Neha is 5, and the other 2 are in between somewhere, but I think towards the 20s or 30s. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. I suppose we can let the finalists and the winners actually check the IC just to verify the ages and so on. So no worries about that. Okay, I think we have cleared all the burning questions for our. Wait, we have one more question from Mathis. Okay, Mathis, your question is very interesting, so I'm going to allow it. Okay, Mathis is asking, can the elephants be chipped internally under the skin, or is this a big no-no?
Okay, so I think for that, firstly, it depends on the size and also what that thing that you want to put under the skin. So, for example, all our animals, well, most of our animals are microchips, but that's really, really tiny, and it doesn't harm them at all. And I think Dr. Shang is here. He can also answer that. Yeah, but we would prefer solutions where we don't have to inject them. Yeah, so none of that, if possible. Yeah.
Maybe can I also add on? Maybe Billy.
Yes,
so
please. Yeah.
If you have time. Last week there were some tech solvers who asked whether we can have heat sensor like what we have been the shopping malls have been using for the COVID and COVID cases. So there's a possibility, but just be mindful. All our cameras, our existing cameras that we use to monitor. Do the video analytics and so on and so forth are being positioned very high up so that to prevent the elephants from, because animals, they are curious, once they see something new, they'll try to go and play with it or tear it off. So it has to be a certain height, quite high up. So if you are thinking of using heat sensor or LiDAR or so on and so forth, just be mindful about the distance too, because I understand some of it has to be shorter distance. It cannot be too long, but yeah. So something for you all to, yeah. These are some of the questions that they have been asked. So I was thinking, maybe I can address and share it now.
Okay, thank you very much, Ryan and Claudia, for answering all the burning questions, including those FAQs. This is a very interesting challenge. I think a lot of people are very, very excited about this. So we suspect there'll be a lot of submissions for your business challenge here on the OIP. So thank you very much today for presenting on the WRS challenge. Thank you, and we hope to see you guys soon for next round of our partnership together. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon, Claudia and Ryan. Thank you. Okay, gonna move on to a whole new set of brand new challenges on OIP, and this comes from, I believe, one of our newer problem owners on the network. This is, of course, I'm referring, of course, to our friends from the Jerome barrels and drums industry. So we're talking about the drum recycling industry, and they have two problems here today. So we're going to take them one by one. So we'll let our friends from Jerome Barrels present the first challenge, then followed by the second challenge. So after the first challenge, we'll have a Q&A, followed by the second challenge and a Q&A, right? So that we don't mix up the information across both challenges. So our speakers from Jerome Barrels and Drums Industry. So we have a tech team today. We are very, very happy to have the partners with us today. First of all, I'd like to introduce Mr. Gilbert Quack, General Manager of Jerome Barrels. And Gilbert has been with Jerome Barrels for 5 years and has part of the management team. He overlooks the entire operation and assists in the company's expansion process. So Gilbert has, over 30 years of experience in the manufacturing sector. So welcome, Gilbert. And I'd like to also welcome your partner with you. And he's, of course, Mr. Liang Jerome. He's the Finance and Admin Manager for Jerome Barrels. And Jerome has experience in financial analysis and over 10 years of experience in accounting role. And as the management consultant, right, the management accountant for Jerome Barrels, Jerome oversees the finance and admin aspects of the company. So basically, if you have any money-related questions for this challenge, right, please direct them to Jerome, right? And we'll spare Gilbert from money questions. Okay, the first challenge that Jerome Barrels is presenting is on to detect, assess, and automate industrial drum cleaning system. So the problem statement is quite simple. It says, how might we improve the cleaning process through automated assessment and detection of reconditioned industrial drums? So ladies and gentlemen, I have to present from Jerome Barrels, Mr. Gilbert Quack and Mr. Liang Jerome. Take it away, Gilbert and Jerome.
Thank you. We'd like to just share, Jerome Barrels is a leading company in Singapore, specializing in reconditioning of metal drums and plastic containers. So what we do is actually we buy in used drum, we will wash it, paint it, and we will sell it. So this is just a very simple process. But with this simple process comes a lot of difficulty we saw. So the first one is we are looking for technology that aids in interior drum inspection. So this is the first challenge. So we are looking at rusty interior and or any rubbish inside. So just very simple. So this is to allow our colleagues. So okay, the drums are typically around 90 centimeters tall. So average workers is about 1.7 meters. So 90 centimeters, we have to bend down. And take a look. So maybe could I share a slide first? Okay, so sorry, let me start again. So these are some of the products that we have. We usually get this in used condition. We will wash it and we paint it for the steel drum. Yeah. Okay, some of the certification that we have. Okay, so this is steel drum production process. So we will collect used drums. We will remove the label sticker. We will wash internally and exterior. Then we will paint it and get it ready for delivery. So okay, this is the first challenge that we have. Okay, we are looking for something to inspect, like rusty interior or any rubbish that's inside the drum. So basically, this is the drum size. Okay, about 88 to 90 centimeters tall. So typical employee have to bend over using a torchlight to look at what is inside. Yeah, so which is not very good for the back. After like one working day, I think they might feel not very comfortable. So we're trying to find something that so that our colleagues do not have to bend down, something that they can just search and help us detect the rusty interior or any rubbish that's inside. So this is the first challenge. So we think it's kind of simple process, but well, sometimes it's not that simple at all. Okay, so can we move on to the second one?
Oh, Jerome, you want to present the second challenge, is it?
Yep.
Oh, because actually we would like to actually this is the all for the first challenge, but basically we want to take the Q&A for the first question now, so that we don't confuse the audience and then we have cross questions about. So we'd like to actually invite the floor right now to pose questions on this first challenge. Yeah, so I'm going to open up the session now to the floor so that we can ask questions for our friends from Jerome Barrels, Gilbert and Jerome on the first challenge, which is about, how may they improve the cleaning process through automated assessment and detection of reconditioned industrial drum. Is that correct, Jerome? This is a challenge, right? Okay, that's cool. So I'm going to open the questions to the floor, and I'm just going to look for. Okay, if nobody asks question, I'm going to arrow it. Okay, I'm going to. Oh yes, we have a question from Rachel Yo. Okay, Rachel is asking, are you able to share what are some of the adhesives that you use in your process?
Okay, for the cleaning of this or reconditioning of these type of drums, okay, we are using detergent to clean the internal as well as external, a mix of also kerosene. Okay, and after the first wheel cleaning, the final stage of the cleaning internally is actually add in some of the anti-rust chemical to protect the drum.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is the internal cleaning.
Okay. Actually, Gilbert, I suspect Rachel is interested in know, because you want to remove the stickers, right? So what is the glue, the kind of glue used for the stickers? You want to know that? Yeah.
I think the removal of sticker will be the second part. So are we or should we go to the second portion first rather than this internal cleaning first? I think your mic is mute, Billy.
Oh, sorry, the same problem of Zoom, always on mute. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, so I just want to clarify. This is the system to help in the cleaning, right? Automate the cleaning of the industrial drum, is it? This is the first challenge, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you wanted to go on to the second challenge now, is it?
Okay, sorry, Billy, let me answer some of the questions first.
Yeah.
So for this first challenge, right, we just need to look for interior inspection. Because exterior
inspection, is it?
Yeah, exterior usually we do by physical check. Visible checks.
Oh, okay. Oh, so okay. So basically, actually, so I suspect this challenge is the title Smart Quality Assurance for Industrial Drum Cleaning System. Is this a challenge?
Yeah.
So how may we? So the problem statement was, how may we create an automated defect detection and quality control system to maximize accuracy of QA checks for incoming drums? Is this the one?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, sorry. So my mistake. Sorry, I kind of got it up. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the first challenge from Jerome Barrels and Drums Industry is the Smart Quality Assurance for Industrial Drum Cleaning System. And it says, how might we create an automated defect detection and quality control system to maximize accuracy of QA checks for incoming drums? So basically, we want an intelligent way to inspect the drums before cleaning, right? Is that correct, Jerome and Gilbert?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So we'll try to take questions for this current topic right now before we move on to the second topic. Would that be okay? So that we don't, don't be like me, I very blur, so we kind of mix up the questions. Okay.
Sorry, let me just reply some of the questions that I see here. So just need something to inspect the interior. Exterior usually we do it by physical checks, visually using our visual check. Okay. Then,
So just to verify, which question is this right now, Jerome? Oh, this is the Ajit's question, right? Okay. Because I have to go and click answer live so that we don't repeat the question. Okay. So we are looking for internal inspection of the drum. We want an intelligent way of inspecting so that the workers don't have to bend over all the time to physically check. That's the thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So Varun also, so Varun's question is the main challenge is only to solve two problems, right? Detecting rust and rubbish. Is that true, Gilbert and Jerome?
Yes.
Okay, so Varun, you win 10 points for that very, very interesting question. Okay. Okay, coming up next, we have, let's see, Edmund. Okay, Edmund has a question. Do the internals of all the drums have the same color if there's no rubbish?
No. Okay. Basically,
so all sorts of colors we have.
Maybe let me elaborate. For steel drum itself, there are naked steel color. There's unlined, I put it. So there are also lined drums painted internally. So I think market average there's about 6 color. So if the color is whatever there is color, the whole drum internally will be the same color.
Okay. Basically, whatever system we're using needs to detect the rubbish and the rust against this kind of color backgrounds. So you need to differentiate the color background and the rubbish and all that. Okay, we get it. Okay. Interesting question from Wen Qi Lo, and she's asking, is there any other object you want to detect besides rust and rubbish in the drum?
Okay, internally, we need to detect mainly rust, rubbish, because rust there's a different color. Once you visual check or detect, it will be in a different, become a two-color matter.
Okay.
So any equipment or any process that us that are able to detect this difference internally.
Okay. Okay, maybe I try to add on to Wen Qi's question, because I realized maybe she's asking, what about defects? Do you want this interior check to also detect defects?
Interior defect, not really.
Not really, okay.
Yeah, because visual defect is more important. Once there's any defect based on the picture, you can see or color.
Okay. Okay, so for this purpose, we don't need to check for defects, just rust and rubbish internally.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
And we have a question from Anonymous. It says, regarding the interior inspection, which are the areas that you want to inspect? Does it include the top and the bottom?
If I can inspect the top and the bottom, that would be best.
That's fantastic. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Anonymous, it will be fantastic if your solution can do all this, right? Inspect the top and bottom.
Yes.
Okay. That's cool. Okay. And let's go on to a question from Joel. Oh, Joel asked a question that I also wanted to ask. Okay. Normally, what types of rubbish will there be in the drums? And secondly, do you use an automated assembly line or washing line system? Wow, very cheap, Joel.
Okay. Talking about the rubbish, I think in manufacturing or from the end user, after they use the drum, there are people tend to throw rubbish inside and throw it into the dustbin. So it's very convenient for them. So we will not be able to tell you that what are the type of rubbish. There is paper, there's metal cap, there's cable tie.
Yeah, sounds very chapalang. Everything people can throw, they throw inside.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now what about the second question from Joel? Do you use an automated assembly line or washing line system?
We have a semi-automated washing line. But before we go to the washing line, all the inspection and suction, all this, you manual.
Okay, thank you, Gilbert. Wow, I think you have a very, very interesting audience here today, but they're asking a lot of tough questions. Okay, this one comes from Anonymous. What is the criteria for rust detection? Is it the size or the location, etc.?
Okay, for size detection, actually, for the rust detection, actually, more on the size.
More on the size, okay.
Yes, because it can be anywhere.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Gilbert. So another question, this is from Jun Da Ng, and it says, what is the cycle time of the current inspection operation?
The cycle time of my current inspection. Okay, based on the visual inspection, my cycle time is about 3 seconds. Cycle
time is 3 seconds. Just so every drum you take 3 seconds to inspect lah.
Yeah, that's for the visual inspection.
Okay. So you hope to actually speed it up to, I don't know, 1.5 seconds. I don't know.
If let's say you can speed up, that will be the best.
Okay.
And the main thing actually, we also we want to reduce the stress of our operator. Because as a manual operator, and you have to look at the drum continuously, your eyes will feel tired and your back.
Yeah, that's right.
So
it's a very
that can help us and detect it, and there'll be something that form of alarm that there's something inside this drum.
Yeah.
So you just sort it out, then the rest without problem you can continue.
Yeah. Well, sounds like a very good, what you call it, a technology that can help very intense labor. That's great. Okay, a question from Jose. It says, in addition to detergent, do you use other chemicals?
That is, I think, the second part. Okay.
Okay, then we can answer that maybe later.
Visual inspection, I think, visual inspection. But if let's say, I think maybe there's some worry on this equipment itself. The drum itself, it comes with different type of chemicals. Okay, internally. But once we have the drum in, before we go for the visual inspection or all this, we will have a suction to suck out all the residue as possible. So there are multiple chemical multi-lubrication oil, we have orange juice, we have sesame oil, all these things.
Wow, you had me at orange juice, man. Sounds very delicious. Okay, thank you, Gilbert. Okay. Oh, we have a lot of tough questions for you guys today. I don't know why the audience wants to cut you, but here we go. A question from Rachel. It says, will Jerome barrels be able to supply the defect images for machine model training? And how many of the defect images can you provide?
Defect images. Okay. We can supply defect images on the reject of this contamination or this rubbish. Okay, that provided what type of defect is Rachel talking about?
Probably she wants enough samples, right, to train her AI, or the software to spot all the rubbish and all that, yeah.
No problem.
So I suppose you can give them.
That's when there's down the road when things go down, then we can coordinate to what more detail on this.
Okay, so Rachel, the message is Gilbert says no problem. He'll give it to you if you are a finalist or a winner. Okay, so that's a promise. Okay, thank you. Okay, wow. We have a very tough question from Naresh. Naresh seems to be very, very skeptical about this challenge, but never mind. Naresh will take a question. How would automation help over human physical checks? Since I assume the drums will need to be opened in order to check them. What do you say to that, Gilbert and Jerome?
Maybe automation can help in reducing human error. That's the first point. The second point, as we mentioned before, we don't want our colleague to bend over to check. Like if one day we can do 800 drums, they have to bend 800 times.
Okay, understand totally. Yeah, you have to reduce the manual labor, the hard physical labor part. Okay.
Something if there's the technology that allows them to check while standing, I think it will help. Even if it's 3 seconds, what they are doing now.
Can make it more efficient by speeding up the process, as Gilbert pointed out. Okay. The next question from Jing Yi is actually similar to what we had just now. So basically, she's asking whether you provide the sample images to train the machine. So I think basically the answer is yes, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Okay, thank you. So Jing Yi, I hope you got an answer. Okay, and let's see, a question from Joel again. Oh, what happens when you find rust in the drums?
If it's small area, we'll try to wash it away. If those that's unable to wash, we will scrap the drum. We will sell to scrap metals.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I think maybe Joe sees a business opportunity there. Okay. Good news for you, Joe. Okay. Up next, question from let's see. We have a question from Kamyu, and it says, Kamyu Chan. It says, what is the smallest and largest dimension of the rubbish it is expected to detect? Oh, that's a very good question. So, what's the smallest piece of rubbish you expect to detect, and what's the largest piece of rubbish we can expect to detect?
Okay. I think average sizes you can see on the photo in the bottom, the second photo. Okay, the smallest size that we have, I think it will be able to become at least of 5 to 10 mm.
5 to 10, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, what's the largest piece of rubbish you've ever found in the drums?
Oh, okay. The largest piece, it covered the whole surface.
Wow, what was that? A plastic bag or something? A paper or something?
Plastic bag is glove and the strap frame that they wrap the drum, they just squeeze in. So it's just a pool of rubbish.
Okay, so it can be quite a large piece of rubbish as well. Okay,
yes,
that's great. Okay, question from Jose about cleaning. I think we can keep Jose's question for the next round. And then question for Anonymous. What is the environment like at the expansion of the drums? The environment when you expect the drums? Can you all share on this?
Environment actually is normal room temperature.
Room temperature, okay.
We don't have under cold room, so it's just open space.
Okay, open space under shelter, I hope.
Yes.
Okay. So rest assured, Anonymous, they won't tekan you by making you stand in the sun.
That is why automated inspection and to detect all the defects is very important, which we want to ease our operator stress.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Okay, I think we have one more question from Edmund for this particular challenge, and it says, do you prefer a fixed solution or a mobile solution?
We will prefer to have a fixed solution and certain mobile solution as well. Okay. So I guess it depends on if Edmund is a finalist, then you can discuss the final terms of the ideal solution with him. Okay.
In the meantime, we leave it open, Edmund. So basically a mix of a fixed and a mobile solution. Yeah. Okay, Kelvin, we'll share. We'll answer your question probably after this session. Don't worry. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can move on to the second challenge from Jerome barrels and drums. So I'd like to invite Gilbert and Zhao Rong to share on the second challenge.
So for the second challenge, right, we are looking for automation process to remove the label stickers on the drums. So you can see there are some stickers on the drums from this photo here. Okay, so if you look on the right side, so the issue faced is not all the label stickers are placed in the same location. There are some at the top, there are some squeezed all the way on the bodies of the drums. So the second issue that we face, right, not all the drums that we collected are of the same size, same height. So this is another issue, like precision engineering will be ruled out if all the drums have to be the same size and same height. So if you can see from the photo, right, there are some drums without grooves at all, there are some with 4 or 3 grooves. So these are the challenges that we face. So let me go back to the height. Okay, so these are some of the range of the heights and size of the drums that we measure, but in general, the circle at the top, which we have access, are almost the same. So it's just the height and the size of the top that are different. Okay.
Let me elaborate further. Okay, I think Singapore is an international trading hub, and most of what Singapore have come from all around the world. So every individual country, they have their own standard design. With Singapore taking, that's why over here you see many different type of drum, many different type of design. Okay, so a single reading machine may not be able to read the different type of design drums.
Okay, so guys, do you have any more slides to present to the audience?
No, we are ready for Q&A.
Oh, you're ready for a question? Wow, you guys are very on the ball. Direct to the questions straight away. Okay, let me look at the questions on the floor right now. So in the meantime, just to clarify, this challenge is actually, the problem statement is, how might we improve the cleaning process through automated assessment and detection of the reconditioned industrial drums? Okay, so it's about how to improve the cleaning, right, of the drums in the best way possible. So we've okay, so there was a question from Rachel just now which we didn't quite answer, but now we can answer. So Gilbert and Zhao Rong, what are some of the glue, the adhesives used in the sticker labels that they have to remove? Yeah.
Okay, to remove the label present moment, we are using xylene, or what I call it, the thinner base. Okay.
What sort of glue are we looking at? It's not a normal kind of stationary glue that we use for letters and, and envelope.
There are normal stationary glue. They are what I call it, based on the sticker itself. There are paper sticker. There are decal sticker. Okay, they are plastic sticker.
Okay.
These are the few of them. So how we remove it and what are the type of glue? Really can't tell. Because is originally when we collect the drum, is already on there.
Okay, so Richard, I hope you understand that there's a variety of glue used in all the labels used on different kinds of drums. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, a question from Jose. I think we were keeping this for this round. Okay, so Jose is asking, do you use a conveyorized system for cleaning and inspection?
There are part of it conveyor, part of it manual. I will consider it fully manual for the initial sticker removing.
Okay. All right. So Jose, I hope that answers the question. Jose is back with another question and says, can you submerge the drums in water? That sounds like a very quick solution. Does it work?
It's a good option. The drum can be submerged into the water, no issue.
Okay. So it can be submerged in water, okay.
But
that's great.
Might have to be consider that it not wet the area.
Okay. So how do we solve this conundrum lah? So can submerge in water, but don't make it wet. Don't wet the area lah. Okay. Okay, that's a tough one. That calls for another that calls for another business challenge on OIP. Maybe we invite you back in call 12, like we can have this challenge as well. Okay, thank you. All right. Oh, okay. Okay, maybe we can. Okay, Winston's asking a question that I think you sort of briefly mentioned. You sort of briefly answered before, but maybe for the benefit of all our audience, right, we can actually ask this again. So, how are the stickers currently removed? Maybe you can describe in detail, Gilbert.
Okay.
How are the stickers currently removed?
How are we removing the sticker?
That's right. Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Once we get the drum, okay, we will have a hand scrubber. It's just like something like a scrubber knife. We'll scrub against the label and pull the label out or tear the label out. Okay. After the label is tear out, then we'll use a thinner to clean on the surface to remove the fountain. That means the glue. Okay. So if let's say certain label, when we tear halfway, the label give way, those certain tear parts stick at the drum. Then we'll apply thinner on the sticker surface and soften it, or try to do have some chemical reaction on the bond. Then we'll use a scrubber to scrub it out. So rather, if human is just a straightforward, simple process, get a scrubber, try to remove by hand the label.
Okay.
Now.
So, Gilbert, on average, how long does it take for a typical employee to remove stickers from a typical drum, roughly?
For a typical employee to remove the sticker, timing it varies from about 2 minutes to 8 minutes or to 10 minutes. Sorry.
Okay. Wow, that sounds very backbreaking work, very tough work, I must say. Yeah.
It's very tough.
Okay,
work.
so Winston, yeah. Okay, Winston, I hope that answered your question. Okay, from Anonymous, this question is, what is Jurong Barrel's priority when it comes to the removing of the stickers? So I suppose what's the number one priority for you for removing the stickers? Is it to make it very fast or make it very clean, or something in between?
Is to make it very fast and very clean.
Okay, that's so basically must be very fast and very clean.
Removing the sticker.
Okay. Okay. That's great. All right. Okay. Let's move on. Oh, this question from Anonymous. So approximately how many drums must you clean per day? Yeah.
My per day record is about average 1,002.
Wow. To remove the stickers and all that, to clean. Okay. Wow. That is a lot, huh? Wow. Very bad working, I must say. Okay. Okay, Jose is back with another question, and Jose is asking, can we use plasma in cleaning and removing stickers? Plasma. Wow, I'm not even sure whether it's the same plasma as our plasma TVs, but yeah.
We need to know what type of plasma process.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, I'll invite Jose to pose a follow-up question about what kind of plasma are you referring to, Jose? You can type in right now and we'll try to answer it before the session ends.
I think whether it's to use a plasma or any other equipment, the main target is to remove the sticker and make the drums clean.
Yeah, and in a very safe way, I suppose.
There's the idea that if you need to remove the sticker, then it will cause the paint to be removed. If let's say paint are going to be removed, then the whole side drums surface, all the paint have to be removed.
Okay. So make sure you don't peel out the paint. If not, it will be quite legit to remove the paint as well on the floor. Yeah. Okay. James has a question about: do you repaint the drums after removing the labels?
Yes.
Okay. So okay, and then James
removal of label sticker is one of the first few steps that the drums go through in our reconditioning process. So after we remove the label sticker, we will send the drum for washing interiorly and exteriorly.
Okay. Thank you, Sarong. And okay, Anonymous is asking, are the drums mostly metals? Are there any plastic drums?
We are looking initially in the steel drums, or say metal drums. We also have plastic drums.
Okay, plastic drums as well. Okay, so the solution must be able to handle plastic drums as well as metal drums. Okay, I think we have one last question from James. He's asking, if you repaint the drums, right, do you sandblast away the old paint?
No, we do not sandblast away the old paint.
Okay, answer is no. Okay, thank you.
Remove the sticker and at mid of the removing sticker, there are some paints that being peeled off. That will cause the consistency surface smoothness. So if let's say that cause there's something like a step, once you do a repaint, then you will see a step after the repainting. So if let's say there's paint being removed, then you will think that you should remove the whole side surface of the job.
Okay.
The even surface.
Okay. Wow. Sounds like a very complicated process, I must say. Okay, thank you, Gilbert. Okay, I'm going to ask one more question from the floor, and this comes from Jin Da, and says, is it acceptable if we cause light damage, scratches, etc., to the drum surface during the sticker removal? Is it okay to cause light damage? In other words, what do you guys say to this?
Okay, light damage like scratches, all this, it will not have much issue. That's okay.
Okay. So basically, you close one eye to light damage,
not say the close one eye.
Just kidding.
We practice want to give our customer the best quality, even if
best quality, okay.
It's usable and we call.
Okay. So basically, best condition as possible. So try not to cause any damage. Okay. I hope that answers the question from Jin Da. Okay. I think that's it. Wow, we guys had quite a lot of questions to answer in this very short time. So thank you very much, Gilbert and Jerome, for taking all the questions. I believe there's a lot of strong interest in both your problem statements, both your business challenges. So I look forward to all the exciting submissions for your two problem statements on the OIP. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Gilbert and Jerome from Jerome Barrels and Drum. Thank you, guys. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Right. Bye-bye. Okay, we're going to go on to, our next challenger, or rather our next problem owner with 3 business challenges, right, is none other than the YCH Group. And just a couple of quick facts of YCH. It was founded in 1955, and YCH Group, right, is Singapore's largest homegrown supply chain solutions company, right? It has grown from a passenger transportation company to an integrated supply chain and logistics services provider, right? It's gone regional as well. So it's a very big sort of player in the logistics market. And our next speaker he has a tough task, right, of presenting 3 business challenges, right, today, right? From here to the end of today's session, our next challenger will be our hero, okay, because he's going to present a very interesting, very dynamic business in the logistics. So basically, if you solutions for all these challenges, right, you have the ability to influence the logistics sector, right, across Singapore, and not just Singapore, but also beyond, regionally, or even perhaps globally. Okay, I'd like to invite right now our speaker from the YCH Group, Mr. Ryan Yap. He's the head of growth at the YCH Group, and I'd just like to intro Ryan a bit. So Ryan is the head of growth of YCH Group, and he's focusing on YCH alchemy of growth. Okay, so this basically constitutes the strength of YCH through organic growth, collaborations, and M&A strategy. So Ryan is the growth guy for YCH. Okay, so he has joined YCH in 2018, and before that, I believe he was in the legal field. So maybe we can get Ryan to share a bit more about his background later on. So Ryan, are you ready to share on your challenges?
Yes, Billy, sure.
Hi, Ryan, welcome. So basically, I just want to, because we have 3 very big challenges, so I just want to be sure that we start on the right track with the first challenge. Just to confirm, the first challenge is the title is Expand Video Analysis and Insights to Drone-Mounted Data. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Ryan's going to present this problem statement on how might we expand the capabilities of video and image in order to automate and optimize drone-operated cycle counting process. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Ryan Yap from YCH Group. Take it away, Ryan.
Hi, thanks, Billy. Thanks for the wonderful introduction. I think you may want to change jobs.
Thank you. You have an opening for me. Thank you.
So thanks, everyone. We do have 3 problem statements. But as Billy mentioned, I'm a lawyer by training, so this is a walk in the park for me. So we present 3 different problem statements. Why they are challenges is primarily because they require a number of adjacent capabilities, which are not really where we play. We are supply chain solutions experts at heart. So things to do robotics, AI. We like to deploy them. We like to use them. We like to create innovative uses for them. But actually, developing is something we like to work with other partners. All right. So what is this drone-mounted data? So let me just skip this slide. All right. So what we do currently in YCH is we actually deploy autonomous drones in our warehouses. The idea was to use it. The idea is to use it for inventory management. Right? And this process we've been mulling about with it for about I like to say 5 years. We've gotten it to a point where it's safe, it does what it needs to do. And now we're at the point where, okay, everything is stable, what's the next? And for us, the next step is not so much the flight, it's rather the improved analytics, the additional layer of visual analytics that can be done as the drone is flying. So what the drone does today, right, it's actually flying along the aisles autonomously. We set it up, we press a button, and then so it knows where it is and it will fly. As it's flying, it's taking pictures and videos of our cargo, right? And it's tracking at these labels as well to identify what's in front of it, matching it with what it knows of its location, and therefore it can tell that the inventory is in the right place. Now that is useful to a point, and it saves us quite a lot of time. The drone can fly through one aisle like this. I think it's about 500 to 700 pallets. A pallet is like that, right? In about 15 minutes. In a normal scenario, it would take 2 people with a reach truck about 8 hours to do an equivalent job. So once we nail that, actually, it makes a lot of sense, even though the cost of drone is prohibitive, generally speaking. But now we want to take it the next step. So what we want to do is there are basically 3 aspects. We want to do what we call smart inventory capturing. We want to do automated analysis, errors, defects. And the third one is if someone can help us to create an analytics dashboard and integrate with our proprietary supply chain software systems, that will help a lot. So what do I mean by these 3? Okay, so the first one is, as I said earlier, the drone. This is a picture. Sorry, it's not moving. So this is the drone right here. This is a version 4.0. And what it simply does, right, is it's actually taking videos and images as it goes along, as I said earlier. Right, so let me go back to this. So it's as it's flying along the aisles, you actually get to see the video as it flies by. What we want to do with this is actually have a kind of system that can actually tag the video as it's going, such that, for example, minute 10 of the video, it detected a particular pallet. Ideally, these can be tagged throughout the flight so that it's easy for us to actually inspect the video as a facsimile to actually inspecting the cargo in real life. Right. And obviously, yes, we can be hardworking and do mathematical calculations, but it'd be better if we can do it smarter by clicking on a particular, let's say, a pallet number. It will bring me straight to the video in question. Right. So that's kind of the first step. Right. So just give a scenario of what it looks like. So basically, after it's done its job, there's a 15-minute video clip. Right. And if the solution can actually tag this whole video such that it's in a human interactable format, if I click on a particular palette that I suspect something has gone wrong, you can bring me straight to that video frame. Right. So I don't have to sift through the whole 15 minutes. I can just manage my exceptions. And that brings me to the second part, which is as it is flying by, ideally with the image analytics, it will be able to detect for things like location mismatch, volume metric mismatch. For example, if a pallet is, let's say, 2 meters tall and it's inspected that's actually become 1.5 meters tall, ideally from the video, the solution will be able to flag that out as a red flag, right? Which goes back into identifying that specifically where in this video am I going to find this particular error, right? So 1 and 2 are very tightly integrated, but number 1 is more of a video management tool, and number 2 is actually the smartness of detecting something has gone wrong, something is missing, something has been moved when it's not supposed to be moved, or there's damage, right? So if it's perfectly fine, don't tell me, I don't need to know, right? So that is in essence the main 2 points of what we want to achieve. Now, the third point is ideally all this information can be produced into a dashboard, right? So that we can easily skim through and manage this wealth of information, because in our warehouse, we have 150,000 pallets. So that's a lot of 15-minute video clips. That would be about 3,000 if my math is right. No, 300 15-minute video clips. Yeah, I cannot pay anyone enough to watch 300 videos. I cannot pay anyone enough to do that. So ideally, the dashboard and all that can have a easy way, right, for us to identify which of these video clips there's something wrong, And then from what you have identified as something going wrong, I can click into that particular second minute of the flight and determine that something is actually wrong and then take action. So in a way, I can move my people up from manually checking to actually taking very calculated adjustments to something that's gone wrong or something that's what we know should be the actual case. So this is the big value add that we hope to bring with this particular challenge. All right. So before I move to questions, so we were told to put in this slide, but going based on what I saw earlier, we don't have to. But basically, we've done similar models with other startups before these advents of good innovation platforms like what IMD has set up. And what we had done with the drone company, is we had actually worked with them for about 3 or 4 years, and with a promise to buy a certain number of the product, right, as well as to market together. So that's something we can do, but long term, medium term. Immediately, of course, we are proposing about the $30,000 prize money to get us to a prototype ideally. And of course, you'll be exposed to our ecosystem, our supply chain city here. We used to see about 5,000 visitors to our site every year. So that's a lot of exposure for anyone that works with us. Yeah. I do apologize for the slide. I think I'm moving once. I'm using 2 screens. I'm moving one, it's not moving the other. So if anyone needs me to move back to a particular scenario, please let me know. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's the first problem statement. Do we go to Q&A here or?
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah. Hi, Ryan. Thank you for a great presentation on the drone, business challenge. We would like to take questions on the floor right now. I believe we have some coming in, but allow me to just interject and ask my own personal curious question. So basically, Ryan, what options did YCH consider before coming to OIP? Okay, in terms of looking for a solution, yeah.
Sure. I mean, generally, my innovation team is pretty small. Vikram and Jauhar is actually an intern, but I'm hoping to hire him. and Vikram. So it's just like 1.5 to 2 people actually in the innovation team. So we tend to look for multiplier platforms, things like Switch. 2019 I presented, and Trade Connectivity Challenge. That one's by ESG. So we also try to support the national these innovation ideas, but that is what we do on a concerted effort. Then the rest is actually serendipitous in the sense that we go to particular innovation events, or people send us marketing emails and we check them out. And of course, our own normal research and sourcing, like IPI, NRF, SG Innovate. So those are the things that we do as we have to fill up 8 hours a day. So that's what we do.
Okay, but thank you very much. It's a pleasure and an honor for me to meet the entire YCH group, innovation group. So very much very 3 people here. So just to let you know, I'm very interested in a job that involves watching nothing but video. So if you ever have an internship opportunity, let me know.
But the 300, you spend 350, you spend about 4,500 minutes. I'll do watching nothing but this.
Okay, I do like videos, but I'm just kidding. Okay, anyway, I'll move on to questions from the floor because I think there's a lot of interest in this particular business challenge as well. So, okay, Edmund is back with a question. He says, could you post the video of the drone flight, or could you share the videos of the drone flight? What do you say to that, Ryan?
Yeah, so we can share video of the drone flight. Unfortunately, I mean, the video, wait, hang on. I must clarify, is it a flight of the video or the drone in flight, or a video that is obtained from a drone flight?
Okay, if I were to second guess, Edmund, probably the video that he can use to train his machine learning engine.
Okay, we actually received a request for that earlier, and I think what we responded was we're happy to send it to you, but due to the video having our customers' cargo, I have to uphold my confidentiality obligations. So anyone who wants a video of the actual flight, the cargo, must sign an NDA with us before we can.
Okay, so just to make clear, you need to sign NDA with YCH Group before they allow you to have the sample videos for your, to train your engines and so on.
Yeah.
Okay, a question now from
anytime.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot, Ryan, you have a legal background, right? So I forgot that you know all your T's and C's and all that. Okay. Question from Joel Tan. It's a 2-part question. So first is, what resolution and frames per second FPS are the drone cameras recording at? So that's one.
Okay.
Secondly is, what kind of damages do you commonly flag in your warehouses? Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So generally speaking, damage doesn't have to be like, the box is damaged or whatever. Sometimes because all these are shrink wrap, Right, not very eco-friendly, but we use sustainable shrink wrapping. So there's that. Right, we have to do it. Otherwise, the cartons fall over the place. But ideally, sometimes even if the shrink wrap itself is damaged, right, that can open, for one of a better word, open the can of worms. For us to go investigate someone doing funny things with the cargo when they shouldn't be. Right, because again, the idea is inventory management. So this includes accuracy, location, quantity, condition. Right. So if even the shrink wrap, if the thing is able to tell that the wrapping has a hole or it's not nicely wrapped, that is actually that could be an indication that someone has done some hanky-panky, which is valuable information for us. So that is the sample of what we mean by damage. Beyond the obvious, maybe if there's a big fat hole in it, that'd be great also, like to tell us. Yeah, but we're happy to work through what's possible. I mean, of course, we present to you, this is the extent of our problem. If we need to lower expectations accordingly based on what's real and possible, then we're happy to discuss that.
Okay. What about the information about the resolution and the FPS?
Okay, so for the resolution, the capability of the camera is up to 4K. For the FPS, I'm not entirely sure. Because the issue is that due to the speed of the drone flight, it has to be reasonably high, but I don't know the exact number. As for the resolution, it goes up to 4K. They're using a 4K,
so up to 4K. Wow, that's a lot of data generated. Okay.
Yeah, but we don't use it at 4K because of data
size. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, data size. We can. We can if there is a good use case such as this, then we will invest more on getting that data.
So opportunity there for people who want to push a 4K resolution, anything on the visual.
The camera is already 4K. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so coming up next from Anonymous. Okay, what are the lighting conditions in the warehouse like? Yeah.
Sure. Okay, lighting condition in the warehouse, generally speaking, is fully lit up because the area where the drone is flying is a manned environment. We have a completely lights off area, but that is fully autonomous, so it's okay. Don't worry about it. This will be lit up. Yeah. And it has to be lit up, actually. So, yeah.
Cool. So that was a very light-hearted question there from the floor. Okay, coming up next from Adib, he's asking, hello, Ryan. Regarding the processing, do you compute on edge or cloud?
Okay, computing-wise, we currently don't really compute. It's all done post-flight on the actual ground control station itself. Because again, as I explained earlier, the data flow is relatively simple. It's more of a matter of matching what's there and some other things that I cannot disclose. But it's very simple. We don't currently deploy edge or cloud as of yet. That is something we are keen to explore. With things like 5G and all that, we're happy to look into that. But yeah, show me
it's not. It's not within the scope of this challenge, I would assume. Or are you open the possibility?
Open.
All right, so Ryan's open to
as long as there's real benefits from it. Happy.
Okay. So that's a very, very good sign. Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. Okay, up next, will YCH be able to share the approximate dimensions of the cargo that needs to be detected, that's required to be detected? So are you able to share the dimensions? Okay.
We can share, but tomorrow it will change. That's the reality of my line of work. Because supply chain, I provide service to my customer. My customer changes cargo size, then I have to be beholden to that. And we have, like I said, 150,000 pallets, not all from one customer, multiple customers, multiple brands. So I can give you a range.
A range of the most popular, the most common ones. Okay, that's cool.
That one a bit tough.
Yeah, in your challenge statement,
we can give you the gamut.
Okay, that'd be cool. That'd be great. I think that'd be useful. Okay, thank you. Okay, up next, let's see, from Rachel. Okay, is YCH able to share what is your existing warehouse management system?
It's a proprietary to us. It's our own system developed by our IPR technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm assuming that the finalists and the winners, will be able to interface with this, right?
Definitely.
WMS.
It's moving to an open API structure. Even if it's done as a separate application, we can help. Sorry, we can corral our own IT team to interface with the application, provided the application has an API. Then that should be. Yeah. So it doesn't have to.
Today we have a lot of questions as well. Okay.
I have two more statements to go.
Thank you, Ryan. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, two more, right? So basically, I'm just pointing out because you're getting a lot of questions here on this. I think we have a lot of drone flying enthusiasts here, if I'm not wrong, including myself. I'm just kidding. All right, okay. So from Hendrik, he says, are you able to share how you localize the drone in the warehouse, and if the location of the drone can be used for the analytics?
As I'm given to understand, the exact mechanics are a little bit beyond my training. But in essence, the drone knows where it is because we pre-map the route, right? So the drone does actually know where it is based on certain coordinates. So that can be used, and we are actively using that as a basis to determine whether it's at the correct place, looking at the correct thing in front of it. You know, so that part we have figured it out in terms of safety 100%. But it's what do we do with that information furthermore, apart from just saying, yes, it's here, right? We can't tell if it's a black eye, it's missing a leg. I can't tell anything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the drone knows it's flying around. It knows its location.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's cool.
But if we if that becomes a technical thing, we can schedule a discussion with the actual drone vendor as part of the correct. So I guess that can be something you factor into the solution proposal.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Okay. More questions for Ryan and team. Okay. Emma is saying that yes, Emma, who had an earlier question, he was referring to the video stream, of what the drone was recording. So I think we answered that already.
Okay. Yeah.
So a question from Ajit. Are you currently decoding QR codes on the video, or do you take still pictures for that?
So we do both, but to identify the palette in front, that is example.
Okay.
Yeah, because basically this is our palette label. There's a QR code, there's a barcode that is a human readable set of digits. So that is, we have it in front of every single palette. That is part of our method, part of our SOP. So so we've tried to make ourselves to be drone ready infrastructure.
Okay, that's very cool, man. Okay, just two more questions, and just one more from Edmund, and he says that other than the video, can we obtain other telemetry from the drone's navigation system? What do you say to that, Ryan?
I say possible. We have to contact the startup that we work with.
Okay.
It's Aerolion Technologies. We actually did a press release a couple of years back. But we can definitely check with them on that. And exactly what data points you need, that would be also helpful. You can reach out to me, me and the team via the email. The contact is
okay.
You can email us. We'll work with the team. We get back to you.
Cool. And one more question
we also send you the NDA since you want the video.
Must sign NDA. So remember, guys, Ryan is legally trained, so he will make sure you sign the NDA. Okay, one more question from Joel, and it says, are you able to share the name of your drone partner?
I think I just did Aerolion Technologies, ALT.
Aerolion, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm very familiar with them. I think they used to work with us as well. Okay.
Exactly.
So Aerolion is quite famous, I think. Okay. One more question from this is Puwana, and it says, double deep rack type or single deep rack, and I suppose referring to the warehouse, right? Okay, single. Okay.
Yeah, correct. This is single deep, double deep. We still have to figure out how to get that done. If you have an idea, I'd be happy to hear it.
Okay, so Ryan's open to new ideas, Punawan, so business opportunity there. So thank you very much, Ryan. I think it's time to move on to your second business challenge.
Sure.
So take it away, sir.
Which one is it? Is it?
Okay.
Is it the
according to our program, it's supposed to be optimizing goods and people movement in a smart warehouse.
Got it. Okay, one second.
Thank you.
This optimizing movement of people.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I just want to summarize the problem statement for this second challenge from YCH Group is, how might we use advanced, adaptable, and connected technologies to optimize the movement of people and goods, thus creating an efficient integrated warehouse system? Very cheap, Ryan.
All right. Yeah, so it's a very cheap problem statement, but that's because your consultants are very cheap. All I really want is to create the first step in working in a hands-free fashion, right? When we propose to start actually with our forklift or reach truck operators, our MHEs, material handling engineers, right? So what we really need is, I think this picture sums it up, right? Is currently what happens is, this is what forklift drivers or MHE every day, right? They drive to a location, they pick up a pallet of cargo and they put it away somewhere, right? Because we are paperless, we actually scan everything. Paperless sans label, not label, which is paper, but we will put labels everywhere. They have to scan. It's paperless in that sense. what happens is that sometimes there are errors and sometimes it's just difficult to scan at the velocity that we need. And it's just another thing for them to remember. Ideally, the process, the fix that we're looking for is relatively simple in terms of the idea, which is something that can do the scanning for them, right? In terms of picking up the pallet number, right? And then the location number, we will put it away, and then our system will do the matching. So basically replace the human action of picking the scanner and scanning. That is really what we're looking for this particular scope. There are further things that we can do, which is down here, but in essence, if you can do this, if you can do that scanning replication, that's fantastic as it is already. So we are looking at 4 things in total. Number 4 is more of the architecture concern, but let me start with number 1. So we decided to make it a little bit easier. So just imagine we have Philip, who's a forklift driver or an MH material handling engineer. He works at our warehouse. With this in place, what he can do is he basically never needs to step off his machine, never needs to whip out the scanner. All he has to do is just drive as instructed to, right? And the system will manage the data entry for him, right? That means as he drives the forklift, what he's picking up will be identified. Where he's putting the cargo away to will also be identified, and also vice versa when he reverses the scenario, right? So for example, and here also, if let's say he's putting it in the wrong location, let's say he needs to go to 01B27, right? He puts it at 01B26, which is possible because it's a massive warehouse. Ideally, the system will be able to tell him, the solution will be able to tell him that he's wrong and tell him why, right? Then he can rectify it. Without having to actually either change the system on the back end or whatever. You just follow what the system prescribes. So that would be what we hope can be done in this the first leg of the solution, right? So that what this means is that he never has to worry about scanning. He doesn't have to remember things in his head. He just moves the system, give him the continuous feedback that he's doing it correctly, he's doing it right. He can just focus on driving safely. All right, okay. So number 2, the second leg of the solution really is that with all this, right, this is something our system already can do. It's just that currently what happens is it's not closely followed because currently our system just recommends the best solution. We would like to enforce that you only put here. And we can't traditionally do that because of the limitations of having to scan stuff. If with the solutions in place, then everything can be dictated by the machine. I think by our system, that's essentially it. Okay, how do I down? Okay, I think actually that is it. So yeah, like I said, so extremely simple. Just can you build me something that I can put on my forklift or my drivers my MHEs can just wear on their person and will handle all the scanning that they need to do for them. Either it be for scanning the cargo and then scanning the location away to the rack, or the other way around, he takes the thing from the rack, make sure it's correct, and he puts it in the correct place for the correct truck to come pick it up. Ideally, that would be all we want for this. So relatively simple problem statement, but there are challenges which I'm happy to share, which is, in essence, we don't necessarily own all our forklifts because we lease quite a few. So whatever you develop will need to be relatively modular in the sense that I can actually take it off without violating my lease. Yeah, I think that is really the hardest part for us. So we've been looking for a good solution to this, haven't really found one that hits ticks all the boxes.
Okay, thank you, Ryan and team. Ryan, okay, speaking as an outsider, right? So my question might be very silly, but just putting out there. So basically, I mean, you have contemporaries in the logistics world like Amazon or or IKEA, for example, right? So I'm assuming that they already have similar technologies or even commercial technologies out there that can do what you want. So why not turn to off-the-shelf technologies, for example? Yeah.
So from what we have found, there is not really one that works in our particular scenario, which is something plug and playable, right? Because it requires, first of all, the software side is relatively simple when it comes to picking up the cargo. Let me just move to the appropriate slide to make my point. Okay, so here, right? Sorry, no, I go one back. So when this is happening, when you actually pick up the cargo, that's fine because there's a big fat target on the pallet, right? It's such a full pallet is huge, a big piece of cargo. The problem comes is when you get to the location, right? The location here, the location ID or whatever you need to scan to ascertain the correct location. A lot of them are using things like XYZ and whatever, which we find is too extravagant. We actually put labels on below every single of these orange racks down here. So our challenge is, can that not be used to seal the deal, right? If not, can you recommend, can the solution recommend a way to make that happen, as opposed to making the forklift super smart? Because we have labels all over the place. It's just a matter of standardizing them and you working with that standardization to automate all the scanning. So that my forklift drivers can really just drive, because the turn that they have to do is quite punishing. On top of having to remember everything else and be safe, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's a difficult task, I must say. Yeah, but I think I've come to the right, platform, because OIP, our tech solvers are very innovative and very creative. And okay, right now we can move on to questions from the floor to help them understand the scale of Ryan's challenge for this part. So I'm going to take a question from Adib. Adib's asking, do you have CCTV cameras already installed in the warehouse, Ryan?
Yeah, we do. But that is moving to a direction that we haven't really considered. But yeah, again, if you have something that revolves around the CCTVs, then that can hit the granularity that we're talking about, yeah, go for it.
Yes, cool. Okay, Adib, I hope that inspired you. Okay, a question from Varun. Would it be possible for you to mount a camera on a forklift and provide power to it?
That's precisely what we are proposing to do. As for the power and how to mount, please, that's why you're getting the 30,000. So.
Oh yeah, gonna make the tech solvers work for the kind of very very rewarding.
But generally all our forklifts are electric types. We don't have any diesel forklifts, not since 2-3 years ago. All have been switched. Entire fleet has been switched to non-diesel. So they're all electric. They all have batteries, and that should be able to be tapped. We just don't know how. That's not our field, right? As I explained earlier.
Okay, I'm pretty sure out there in our tech solver community, we have people with expertise to advise you on this. Okay, a question from Rachel, and Rachel is asking, is YCH able to share what are the kinds of inventory stored in your warehouse, and would it be in the metal heavy environment? What's the 3-part question? Last part of it, sorry. Performance of RFID will be impacted in different kinds of environment. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we do use RFID in our warehouse, right? But we are trying to move away from that because it's not ubiquitous. And also the drone doesn't really require that. So ideally we want to move away from RFID. So I hope that doesn't kill your buzz. And the one before that is, sorry, the second question was whether I have heavy stuff and all that. Generally, that should not impact the solution. Like I said, I am a logistics company. I don't control my customers that come in. I don't have a particular slant that says some companies, they say, oh, I only do cosmetics, or I'm very good at doing cosmetics or alcohol. So they specialize on that area above all others. They're still good at doing everything else, but that's their specialty, so to speak. YStage, we don't really have that kind of specialty. We're good at doing two things: supporting fulfillment, supporting manufacturing, which happens to cover all. So therein is my answer, which is I may not now, but I may in the future. So hopefully that doesn't impact the solution. Two, and sorry, I forgot the first question.
I think that's about it. I think you answered the question more or less about the metal heavy environment and so on. Yeah. Okay, just let me double check. Double check. Yes. Basically, what Rachel wanted to ask, what kind of inventory is stored, but you just explained that you actually have a wide range, right? Wide variety of inventory.
Correct. Yeah.
And she was worried about the metal heavy environment because I suspect Rachel wanted to propose an RFID based solution, and metal environment will impact the frequency and all that.
Yeah, so just a little bit of a history lesson. So we actually do have a RFID company within our group structure. We have a minor stake in it, but we did push the idea to them. But after a while, we realized that it's not going to be sustainable. moving forward, because if you put RFID on the metal racking, the proximity doesn't make sense. So which is why we didn't go ahead with RFID. Even though almost all my pallet ID labels are currently with RFID, but as the COVID chip shortage has showed us that may not be so reliable.
Okay, sorry, on a related note, Ryan, what sort of networking or what kind of connectivity options can the warehouses support? For example, can you support 5G? Yeah.
Okay, so 5G, it can be done, but we've actually had certain discussions with certain folks who do that, but the cost is extremely prohibitive for what we can do today. But if there is a revolutionary use case that justifies the price tag, of course, yes, we can. But for now, 5G, hopefully we don't really need 5G because the number of use cases, it's like, this would be one of them. It doesn't justify the heavy investment for indoor
but you're
5G.
open, you're open if somebody has a feasible proposed solution for you
yeah,
using
open,
5G.
Open.
Okay.
Open, but I know the 5G price tag, so that will definitely affect the overall.
Okay, understand. Yeah. Okay, I'm pretty sure our audience are interested in using 5G as a test case as well. Okay, never mind. We can move on to a question from Edmund. And Edmund is asking, how are your bins labeled? QR, barcode, or text?
Okay, so when you say bins, I assume you mean the racking locations lah. If that is the case, then currently it's by barcode. We can look to implementing a QR code, but we have to deal with the number of real estate that is on the bar lah, because it's a thick metal bar. But if you were to put a QR code, you have to contend with how big you need it to be in order to make sense with the amount of distance. Because if it's so big, then you can't put it. If it's too small, then the fella has to go way too close before you scan anything, and that's very dangerous when you're having a one ton wooden pallet going into a location. So hopefully they don't have to make micro adjustments. So it needs to be of a certain size. So yeah, I mean, we're happy to work that out in the trials.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions from the floor? We still have maybe about 30 seconds left for Ryan to answer questions for this particular challenge before we move on to the final challenge from YCH Group. I was wondering whether any of our friends like Edmund would like to ask any more questions. If not, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. You can send in your questions for Ryan to info@openinnovation.sg. And you can also check out the full challenge statement and all the details, right, on www.openinnovation.sg, right, and look for the challenge from the YCH Group. Okay, if not, we would like to invite Ryan to present on the final challenge for today from YCH Group. And I believe the title is Enhance Customer Engagement Through Smart Order and Delivery Scheduling. So a bit of a different tech sort of challenge for our tech server community. And the problem statement is, how can we create a smart ordering and delivery scheduling system to provide real-time visibility of product ordering, delivery, and scheduling for a positive customer experience? And I tell you, all my online shopping friends are very excited about this problem statement. Okay, for some reason, I don't know why. So Ryan, can you please present on this challenge? Thank you.
Sure. So we currently service a number of customers, as I said earlier. One of them is a certain leading PC brand that actually pioneered selling direct to customers, right? And eventually they grow to do B2B stuff, and we also handle that as part of our service, right? So what we actually do, they are a number of things, but right now we just focus on what we call customer service. Right? And customer service is not just raising problems, because this is a B2B environment as well. You're talking about dealing with retailers, distributors, points of contact that belong to such principles, right? And they make big orders, they send things like email. It's still quite old school, because this is a problem that doesn't exist in Singapore. Actually, the team doing this service sits in Malaysia, right? And they deal with, it's not everything is so nicely digitized over there, and we don't necessarily have the power to force them to, because like I said, just a supply chain provider, they are the big fat retailer, distributor, they will do what they want to do, right? So a day in the life, or rather there are 4 key processes that we're looking at. Okay, so the first one is basically what happens is they send us, for example, their order information, right? The first point that can go wrong is their contact information could be invalid due to typo, due to the fella has left the firm, but usually due to typo, right? And our team actually has to manually filter through all that because our customer has very high standards on us, and our team has been able to deliver. But like I said, due to COVID times, work from home, it's actually been difficult, right? And there's actually incentive to automate this process. So a simple filtering solution that can actually figure out what's invalid or not would be helpful, right? So relatively simple. The second part is they actually I won't say manually, our team works very hard. They look at all the orders, right? They basically batch them according to the order raw, right? Because the retailer doesn't order everything nice and neat at the end of the day. They will drop orders as and when they like, and we must consolidate and book one appointment slot for them. So that consolidation is something that we do with blood, sweat, and tears. Ideally, again, a system or an algorithm can actually allow us to automatically consolidate this based on certain business rules that we will definitely work with to make that clear to whoever is the solution provider on that front. So consolidation. The third one is actually there's a updating of the booking system. So currently the orders are made by many different avenues, phone call, email, WhatsApp, things like that. So ideally, we would allow someone who can help us actually create a portal that can do all these ordering online digitally, right? That's one. And also, if possible, because some people only use phone call, allow us to track all these engagements in a way that can trigger automated actions. For example, someone picks up the phone call, it's an easy to use portal. The guy can say, I spoke to so and so. I need to make this certain action at 2 p.m. tomorrow, right? And then hopefully the system can track all this down and prompt the person at 2 p.m. tomorrow, say, hey, you called this person, you need to do something. Ideally, this would help to make the lives of our customer service team a lot better. Then they can focus on actually providing good service to the customer and customers, actually. So these are the real like 3 or 4 main chunks that we're looking at in terms of process automation, right? Yeah, so this, okay, actually I kind of explained all this already. Yeah, so I guess we'll go into the scenario. So what does it look like, right? So the first part is actually filtering out all the errors and invalid contact details. So hopefully, like I said, the system will basically be able to trawl through all these contact information and figure out what's misspelled or what just doesn't make sense, missing one number. These are things that we still have to deal with. Currently, we use Excel, right, the world's favorite program. But if someone can do it automatically, that'd be helpful. Right, and then number 2, right, is actually all these so-called self-ordering, our customers ordering online, and also able to consolidate all the interactions we have with our customer. So ideally, right, instead of us having to get on the phone, okay, you want this time, we can actually just send links to the customer just keys it in themselves, very nice and easy, simple user interface, which would interface with our system so that we can do the scheduling from that point on. Why is this important and why is it here? Is because we're not just looking for different pieces of different scenarios to integrate together. Hopefully someone can provide us the full suite because it's extremely complex. And unlike a B2C customer, B2B customers and more cloud, they tend to make a lot more changes. So it needs to be really simple, idiot-proof to convince them to actually make these changes to the whole ordering system, because it's a lot more natural for them to pick up the phone and say, hey, I ordered something 2 hours ago, I changed 15 minutes before my delivery time. It does happen that we have to do this. Okay, next one. So the point I will make is the last one. It's basically that due to the myriad of ways you actually interact with the customer, hopefully someone can also help create a sort of simple portal that can actually track and record our engagements, right? Reason being is because we also have to report this to our principal, the PC brand, how we talk to the customer, how many times have we called them, did they pick up the phone, did they not pick up the phone, and what's the action that we take. So if someone can design something that makes it easy to enter this information in and also prompt us on the follow-up actions, that'd be great. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay, thank you, Ryan and team once again. This is the final challenge you're presenting for today. I think it's going to be it's been a long day for you, but don't worry, we're almost at the end. So allow me to interject with one. Okay, again, a silly question from me, right, as usual. Ryan, I just want to ask you, what you're looking for sounds like it's pretty much what the market can offer you in terms of just kind of customer relationship management solutions, right, the CRM. So just want to ask you, what are you looking for that a typical CRM on the market cannot offer you? Yeah.
We're looking for something that can do the job of 3 or 4 applications in one. And also something that can actually work with our unique business rules, because there's a certain logic to the way we consolidate things, and they're quite supply chain driven. And as you know, if you go to those established players, you want to make changes to the products, you start to pay through the nose, and we don't have the budget for that kind of thing. Logically speaking, because again, this is an innovation that we're doing. It's not going to make us millions, but it will make the lives of our 5-6 people a lot easier, right? So it's not something that we spend that kind of money on. Like I said, we're doing this as an additional service. The main bulk is still handling the logistics, the procurement, supply chain planning, making sure they don't run out of stock, servicing the factory, right? This is an extra service we add on. So it's not something that we're willing to make that kind of huge investment on to buy 3-4 different systems, integrate them all together, force them all to get along, and pay millions to do it. That's not what we do. Yeah.
Understand. You're looking for a more innovative way of doing it instead of the 3 or 4 different applications. Okay. We have a question from the floor right now, Anonymous. I think maybe wanted you to clarify on this point. So what system is YCH currently using to manage the bookings?
Microsoft Excel.
Okay.
So currently what happens is the orders come in either by email. We do have a portal, but I don't think it's used. Yeah, I don't think so. So it's primarily by phone call, WhatsApp, email, shouting, and basically we key this into our system ourselves. So ideally, someone can create a front that can take this data and then push it into our systems, right? Rather than have our people do that on hand, because it's just dictation. There's no, I don't get actually, there's no real skill involved, right? It's just tedious and it takes up their effort, of actually coordinating, because this is half the job. The other half is still coordinating with our warehouse, right? And that part cannot be replaced by simple automations, right? So hopefully the customer facing part can be automated so that, okay, our system has told me this, okay, warehouse, you need to do this, that. So our customer service team is actually more supply chain trained rather than customer service trained. So hopefully the customer service sites can be taken care of, so that they don't have to do so much manual entry. Things just happen for them and they can make sense of the data and the action and the changes that happen to them, and proactively act on it rather than have to take this down and then think how to do it and then go it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan. I guess maybe another silly question I have is that you seem to have experts in your team, right? So why not consider building in-house? I mean, just a devil's advocate kind of a question, but why not consider building in-house?
Sure. 2 words: opportunity cost. Really, because we rather focus on building our supply chain solution software. So these are things like the analytics engines. These are things like creating new business rules, creating systems that can scale with our customers, manage our ASRS, our automated systems, also handle our O2O integration. So those are things that we build, right? Building a customer service platform, not that we can't, but it would detract too much and it may not be the best. Because it's we don't know the in-depth how to build a good customer service system, right? We build enterprise software more, and that doesn't look very nice.
I understand, and I believe that we have quite a few experts in our community of OIP tech solvers, so I think you've come to the right platform once again. Okay, exactly. We have a question from Jing Yi right now, one of our most active questioners today, and Jing Yi is asking, is there a list of the minimal pieces of information that you all currently need to collect per order in Excel? Similarly, at the different touch points that the order flows through. She's asking on behalf of people who wants to create a mockup. Yeah.
Okay, mockup meaning when you say pieces of information, you mean the number of rows and columns. Is that it?
Can I invite Jing Yi to key in maybe more details about your question so that Ryan can answer correctly?
I'm reading the question myself. I mean, we can give a sample, I guess, but this would be similar to, because this is personal data. Strictly speaking, it's not personal data, it's business information. But however, again, we require NDA before we can send a sample.
Ryan, I think Jing Yi has clarified what she's looking for. What information the operator needs to collect via WhatsApp or Excel?
Yeah. So I think it'll be easier to send a sample, but hopefully it'll be okay to send a simple NDA. So because there's those are actual live contact details lah. Yeah, contact details. But basically, it's contact details, company they are from, what time they want to pick up, what are they picking up, what pieces, how many orders of let's say PCA, PCB, laptop C, what time they want to collect, what are the restrictions. So it's really delivery information, right? But because it's a B2B customer, they have, it's not as standardized as a B2C, right? Because B2C, all you need to do is what time do they want, where do they stay? That's pretty much all. B2B, there are other idiosyncrasies like things like office hours, and not just office hours, hours that they don't take delivery, which can change. So there's a slight complication there, right? And like I said earlier, they don't just make one consolidated order. They make multiple orders, and they expect you to consolidate everything into one sweet time slot for them. But that's life. Yeah. So we can send a sample, perhaps that might be better. So if you do one, just let us know. We can extract one.
Okay. And I suppose they have to sign an NDA as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that one is personal data. We have.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah. So, Jingyi, I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Thank you, Jingyi. Ryan, I just want to ask you, what sort of preferred solution format do you have in mind? Do you want a hosted service kind, or you want something hosted on the cloud, or or within YCH servers?
So I think we are open, but if it be cloud, it would be best primarily. I said because this would have to be deployed in Malaysia. So if it's something that needs to be deployed on premises, then it'll be a bit difficult to manage logistically speaking. So if it's a web-based or whatever, that's fine.
Okay, so the important point is that it'll be tested in Malaysia, like it'll be hosted. I mean, it's hosted on a cloud, but it'll be used in Malaysia primarily.
Yeah, I mean the users are based in Malaysia, so they'll be the ones that say
okay. Thank you. Just to reinforce that point to the audience, that the solution will be actually used by users based in Malaysia. Yeah. Okay.
My English is fine. My English is fine.
English is fine. Okay.
I preempted the question. Yeah, English is fine. We operate only on English.
Oh, you read my mind, Ryan. Yeah, it's okay. So on this, the solution can be in English, no issue. Yeah. Okay, I'm just waiting for more questions to come in. If not, I'm going to let Ryan and team finally take a rest after a long round of presentation. So calling once, calling twice, last round of questions for this challenge by YCH Group. Okay, I don't see anybody raising hands, so I guess that's it. Okay, that concludes the Q&A for this third challenge by YCH Group. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you have any follow-up questions, right, just email us at info@openinnovation.sg and we'll direct them to Ryan's team for them to answer you as well. Okay, so thank you very much, Ryan and team. Thank you very much for giving us a very clear rundown of the 3 business challenges hosted by YCH Group on the OIP. Thank you, and we look forward to an exciting bundle of submissions for all your 3 challenges. Thank you very much, Ryan. Hope to see you guys in the future. Thank you, guys.
All the best.
Good afternoon. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience and staying with us throughout this very exciting afternoon of presentations by our program owners on OIP. We would like to thank our friends from the Wildlife Reserves Singapore, Ryan and Claudia. We'd like to thank our friends from Jerome Barrels and Drums Industries. We have Gilbert and Jerome. And of course, I'd like to thank Ryan from YCH Group and his team, his whole entire innovation team, for presenting on their business challenges today. Thank you, guys. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to receiving your submissions for all our 15 business challenges in Innovation Call 11 through the OIP portal at www.openinnovation.sg. And remember, the deadline for this current Innovation Call 11 is on Friday, the 29th of October at 4 p.m. Right, so we welcome your challenges. We welcome your submissions for all 15 business challenges. Remember, we have 15 challenges with cash prizes of 560,000 up for grabs, right, for the finalists and the winners. Right, so good luck to everybody. We look forward to receiving your innovative proposals. And don't forget, can I invite my colleague, Mr. Bay, to shine the to spotlight on next Thursday's Innovation Thursday. It's titled Data Analytics. It will be held on Zoom as well from 2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. And we're going to have quite a few presenters from our different problem owners, including, I believe, let me recite from memory, the CPF board as well as Wing Up. All right, so it's going to be very exciting, and also Case Singapore as well. So do join us for exciting afternoon next week, next Thursday, 30th of September for Innovation Thursday, the Data Analytics Edition. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. For more information, as always, please visit our OIP portal at www.openinnovation.sg, or you can always email us at info@openinnovation.sg. Thank you very much. This has been Billy here, having a great time talking to all our problem owners and sharing, learning a lot from their sharing today. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week, 30th September, at our next Innovation Thursday, our Data Analytics Edition. Thank you very much. Have a great week ahead and enjoy your weekend. Thank you and bye-bye.